Ayesha's English Oasis. Ayesha's English.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Ayesha's English Oasis, also known as AEO. In today's video, I'm going to show you how you can use my AEO Community Anthem to teach the parts of a song in a simple, engaging, and practical way. This activity works really well as either a warmer or a cooler, which means you can easily drop it into almost any lesson without needing a lot of preparation. Before we get into the activity itself, it is worth thinking about why teaching the parts of a song is actually useful. Many learners listen to English songs regularly, however, they don't always understand how songs are structured. By focusing on elements such as the intro, verse, chorus, bridge, and outro, we can help learners recognize patterns, improve their listening awareness, and engage more actively with what they hear. So, let's start with how you might use this as a warmer. First of all, you tell your students that they are going to listen to a song and identify its different parts. At this stage, you can quickly elicit or introduce key terms such as intro, verse, chorus, bridge, and outro. There is no need for long explanations here because a simple idea is enough. For example, you might say that the verse usually tells the story, while the chorus is the part that repeats and carries the main message. Once students are familiar with these terms, you play the AEO Community Anthem for the first time without giving them the lyrics. While they are listening, you ask them a very simple question, such as how many different parts they can hear. You could also ask which part repeats, as this naturally helps them begin to notice the chorus. After that, you move on to a second listen, this time with a clearer task. For instance, students can try to put the parts of the song in order or match labels to different sections as they listen. If necessary, you can pause the audio briefly to give them time to think and respond. Next, you guide students through the song more explicitly. You might begin by playing the opening lines, "Ooh, welcome to AEO," and ask students what they think this section is. At this point, you can confirm that this is the intro. Then you move on to the next section, beginning with "The sun is heavy on your head today," and guide them to recognize this as the first verse. As you continue, you play the lines "Quench your thirst for English learning" and help students identify this as the chorus, especially since it repeats and carries the central message of the song. You then work through the rest of the structure together, identifying the second verse, the bridge, beginning with "It's a meeting of the minds," the repeated chorus, and finally the outro, which brings the song to a close. If you would prefer to use this activity as a cooler, you can easily adapt it into a quick and interactive game. For example, you can play short clips from different parts of the song, and students simply call out whether they hear a verse, a chorus, or a bridge. This works particularly well at the end of a lesson because it is fast-paced, fun, and reinforces what they have already learned. If you have more time, you can also extend the activity. Students could label the full set of lyrics themselves, create their own simple song structure, or even write a short chorus using repetition and a clear message. What makes this activity especially effective is that it requires very little preparation. while still being highly engaging and adaptable. At the same time, because it is based on a real song, students are much more likely to connect with it and remember the language. If you would like to use this in your own classroom, you can find the AEO Community Anthem right here on the channel, and the full lyrics are available in the description box of that video. Let me know in the comments how you might adapt this activity for your learners, and whether you already use songs in your teaching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next lesson at Ayesha's English Oasis, aka AEO. Until next time, bye!
Hey!